Karl, looking ahead to New Year's Eve's game at Southend United, what's the mood been like around the training ground the last couple of days?
Yeah, obviously I think a win brings that little bit of hope and optimism, obviously, but I think the most important thing is that we don't get too carried away. I don't think our performance was overly great. I thought second half we were much better. But we won't be successful if we keep playing that way. We have to dominate games for longer periods, and we have to have more opportunities on goal. I don't like winning 1-0, even though it's good. I want to score goals, a lot of goals, and it's important that we start changing that mentality as well. And to be fair, the players were excellent. They worked. Listen, when you don't get the perfect technical performance, it's important that tactically no one makes any mistakes, and that was the case. So that was pleasing, and hopefully now we can build on that.
It's obviously a busy period, the Christmas period. When you do pick up a win on Boxing Day, you don't have much time to prepare, but when you have got that win, do you want that game to come sort of as soon as?
I think but it's the same when you lose. I think off the back of how gutted we were against Millwall, it was a dagger in some ways, that we felt that we done okay for periods of the game, and didn't get anything out of that the first 40 minutes until we hit with 2 sucker punches. So we wanted to get right back into action again, and we did that. So we want to be a part of games. That's what we live for. So it's important that we keep doing the right things, I think, in the training ground. It's important that we keep moving things forward. A lot of things have changed in a very short period of time. The way I want to play, it's not a quick fix. It's not like I can come in here and shell things forward, win second balls, and make the game a little bit more simplistic. There's more of a thought process, and hopefully 1 or 2 of them are now starting to pick things up.
Training pitches were all frozen this morning. It was cold yesterday as well. And how does that affect your preparation for games and your schedule?
We've come in a little bit later. We have fantastic groundsmen here. They keep apologising for the state of the pitches. Yet some of the best training ground pitches in the country. So we have wonderful staff, and they work really hard. They work round the clock, and they shouted at me for walking on the pitch too soon while there's still a bit of white on it. So I've got to set up a little bit later. We bring the players in maybe an hour later to give a bit of time for the sun to set in, to get the frost out of the ground. But other than that, nothing changes.
Southend on New Year's Eve, what we expected from them, because they're on a really good run of form, aren't they?
Yeah, I believe so. I think I was part of one of their first games when they started getting onto it, and they won't beat us 3-0. So we know an awful lot about them. We know how they want to play. Obviously bringing Zavlon Hines, another winger, which would be difficult to play against. We think now Ranger could be back when you've got like Cox and people like Fortune who are in there, who are top players at this level. You're always going to be in for a difficult game. Wordsworth, we know, breaks from midfield, and once he gets on that left foot, he's outstanding. So they have some really good players from back to front, and I know since Anton's gone in there as well, he's really sort of brought that back four together and give them a little bit more solidarity. I think they've got a number of clean sheets now since he's been playing for them, so it just shows you how good he is at this level. So right away, and when you go to their ground, there's always an intensity to every game. I think over the Christmas period that brings that as well, especially New Year's Eve. Hopefully we can finish this year off, which has not been a great year in some ways, but we can finish it off and take us into the new year in 2017 in a very positive frame of mind. If it doesn't, we have to start 2017 very positive. So a bit weird of a new year. I like New Year because I think it draws to a close, and there's new guidelines written and new sort of goals can be set, and you can right the wrongs of the year before, and that's got to be our objective moving forward.
How are we looking injury-wise? We lost Jacko sort of midway through the second half on Boxing Day. I mean, how's he doing, and how's everyone else doing?
Obviously it's a hamstring thing. I think when you look at the energy that he puts into every game, he's a top player, and having missing is a big blow to us. And Nicky's not training today. We've still got no Novak, no Declan Rudd. Chris Surrey's training but won't be available. Piers obviously, and Ricky. So I could almost pick a team from the players. It's horrendous how bad it is, but like I say, these moments are here to test us. And one thing that will happen once you bring in the players who are injured and you recruit in January, the team that people are seeing at the moment, there could be 7-8 changes. It's down to the players who are in the team at the moment to make sure it's not them. But that's the competition that you need, and hopefully we can start bringing in more competition.
Finally, you said after Boxing Day's game that you were going to head out to Belgium with your staff and with Johnny to meet the owner. I mean, how did that meeting go?
Yeah, we sat down before we got there about 3-4 o'clock. And we sat down. We went through the games. Obviously, obviously, the president always has his theory on things, and so we said what he thought of certain situations, and he knew the performance wasn't great in certain games. He knew the Millwall game wasn't good enough. But then we moved on to players that we want to bring in. And I was very clear in the players that I want to bring in, the type of player that we want to bring in, and we'll just have to see where that goes now. But like I say, he knew my ideas. He knows my ideas now. And then we stayed and we watched the game against Liège, which was obviously Cerebus played and scored the goal, made it 2-1. So it was nice to see him play, and so it was good. It was good from that perspective. I think as well, just to see what we can do in January, and hopefully now we can move forward. And I just want to make the club successful, and that's all I kept saying. I want to be successful here, and that's the objective of all of ours, is to make this great club great again. And you only get that by winning games and being promoted and competing at the next level and pushing on for the Premier League. And that's got to be the aim. If it's not the aim, it's a waste of time us all being here. And that's the impression that I got back, is that's our objective.